All right, in part B, let's learn how to paint a David Hockney inspired landscape. So what do you need for this part? You will need a cup of water for cleaning your paintbrush. You need paintbrushes, and if you have two different sizes, that's the best. I have like a small one and then a really tiny one. That's for little details. You also need a magazine or even just like a plastic bag or like a Ziploc bag. But a magazine works really well as a paint palette. See all that paint? So we're going to be using a magazine as a paint palette. Make sure you grab one that's not special. Then, of course, you need your drawing that you've already finished with the drawing of the landscape. This is what we're painting on. And of course, you want to have your picture next to you. And this is so you know what colors to mix, right? Okay, and of course, most importantly, you need paint. But what you are not going to do is pour out green, purple, and orange. You are only going to pour out red, yellow, blue, and white. Why? Because this week is all about mixing our very own colors. We have already practiced that in our last lesson where we learned how to make secondary colors and tints. Secondary colors are the colors made from red, blue, and yellow, primaries, and tints are any color plus white. You need to know how to make those colors so you can make the colors in the picture. You want to have the picture next to you. All right, I have my colors ready to go. I have already practiced. I have my drawing. Let's get set up. All right, before I start putting paint on here, I want to put all of my colors. Oh, you also need a rag or a paper towel. That's helpful too, okay? I want to put all of my colors onto my magazine. It's almost like I'm creating a little paint palette. So I dip my brush and I put it on my palette. Look how I am twisting my brush. When I twist my brush, the paint comes off. Clean your brush before you dip it in another color. You never want to mix your colors in the palette. You want to keep those clean. Then get yellow, twist it off, get a little bit more. Clean my brush. When I clean, I twirl it around and then I wipe it on a rag. Get blue. So what are the colors, the name of the color family that's on my paint palette? Do you remember? These are called primary colors. And primary colors make secondary colors. What color makes colors lighter? That is white. So we need white to make tints. Tints is the word for any color plus white. So a tint of red, that would make a pink. White plus red is pink. Clean your brush. All right, now you can just pull from these already on your palette instead of dipping back and forth. All right, we'll get more paint whenever we need it. Okay, so let's look at our painting. I'm going to start at the very top in the background of my painting because I don't want to paint down here and then put my hand on it and smear it. So I'm going to paint at the top of my painting and move down. So that's the background behind the mountains. And what color is it mostly? It's mostly blue, right? And remember guys, you can paint with me or you can watch the video and finish it. I'm going to be painting for a long time, so you can always fast forward to parts that you need help with, but let's get started together. All right, so this is a blue, but this blue in my paint is too dark. I need to mix a little bit of white, right? So I'm going to take a little bit of blue on my palette and put it in a new spot. I'm making a new little spot. Grab some of the white, just a little bit, and what I'm going to do is make a little circle. I don't want to mix back and forth like that. if I mix back and forth, all my paint will get spread out. I want it in a little pile. To make it in a little pile, I pull it all towards the center, towards the middle. All right, that looks pretty good, right? Okay, let's paint it on. I'm going to paint these mountains. I know these are green hills right here, so I'm not going to paint blue on those. Painting inside the shapes. Okay, I'm going to paint right here too, but I'm going to show you how to make these mountains stand apart in a moment. Okay, I kind of painted over my lines. How do I make them stand apart? I need a darker blue, so I'm going to grab a little bit of dark blue and just mix it right into the same exact pile. Then I'm going to come along and paint a dark blue on the lines. Okay, like it? See, there's some blue here in this mountain. And even here, sometimes you can just move around with your brush when you're painting. If you see the same color somewhere, you can just put it in that area. Okay, I'm going to use this blue again on this side of the mountain. So my pile is ending, so I need to make some more paint. Grab more blue, grab a little bit of white, and mix it in a little pile. You'll get the hang of it the more that you do it. Okay, in the background right here, there's some blue, but it's a little bit lighter, so I'm going to add some white. Slightly warm. If I want to warm a color up, I use a little bit of yellow. Teeny bit of yellow. I barely used any. Making sure I'm not painting right onto my mountains. I ran out, so I make some more the same. Teeny bit of yellow. You see how little? Barely any. Makes a nice warm blue. Okay. Make some more. Here's the ocean part. I'm going to paint that. When you are painting this, you just have to make more and more piles, and I like to make piles in the same spot. I don't like to do is make giant piles of paint because sometimes you don't need that much paint. You only need a little bit. If you've noticed that your paint is not wanting to flow, you can dip your brush in a little bit of water and put it on, and it will flow better over your paper. This is an ocean, so I'm trying to do horizontal strokes. Well, actually, I thought I was painting the sky, but I think this is the ocean. It's just all the way at the top of the picture. So we're painting the ocean. Okay. All right. See this pool right here? It's a little bit darker on this side, so I'm going to add a little bit more dark blue over here. Paint it on. I have newspaper underneath my paper, so I can go right onto it, right? Now I'm going to start mixing in white because it's lighter over here. And I'm blending the dark with the light. Blending means they overlap. And they are soft together. Water to help my paint flow. Okay, there's some blue down here. I'm just focusing on my blues obviously right now. We'll get into other colors. Okay. All right. Nice start. Let's work on the blue on the mountain over here. It's kind of a medium blue. That means it's a little bit of blue mixed with a little bit of white. If you are painting a small area, make your paintbrush vertical on its tippy toes instead of flat. If it's flat, it makes a thick line. If it's vertical, it makes a thin line. There's a little bit of blue in this road. But it's slightly purple. Okay, I know how to make a purple. That's blue plus red. I grabbed a teeny itsy bitsy little bit of red for my road. Little red, little blue, mix it up, put a little white in it, voila. And I'm always looking back and forth right at my paint, or right at my picture, right? Okay. All right, some of the other main colors are greens and pinks. I'm going to start with the greens on this left side. So how do we make green? We make green by mixing yellow plus blue. Looks like we're going to run out of blue, so I'm going to take this chance to put more on my paint palette. Again, my magazine. It's not fancy over here. Okay. I have blue and I need yellow. So blue is a power color. That's a way to remember that it likes to take over yellow. Yellow is kind of weak. You kind of need a lot of yellow to make green and less blue. So you need this much blue and this much yellow to make green. Do you see the difference? That pile of yellow is bigger than blue because blue is a power color. That means you don't need a whole lot of it. Okay, let's make green. Keep my paint as close together in a little pile as I can. I don't want to make long strokes. I'll just paint my magazine instead of making a paint pile. I'm making paint piles and then I'm putting it on my painting. This is the color of these trees over here. So I'm going to paint those on. Look, I did not have green, but I just made green by mixing blue and yellow. Pretty awesome. I'm going to put that same color anywhere else I see it. You can just reuse it everywhere. It's nice. This painting or this hill kind of goes like this. Use those strokes. Okay. I need some more green, but I want to make it darker green. So when I make darker green, I'll just use a little bit more blue. It's going to make a more dark green. That's going to be for the right side of these trees. A little more blue. Twist my brush. Okay, there's some dark greens in here and in here. Okay, all right, we need more green. So where can this color go? Here. Here. Make a dark green for this side. Again, you can't make this painting unless you look at your picture. You won't know what colors to make unless you're really looking at the picture, back and forth. I keep looking at it so I know exactly what colors. Do I need a dark green or light green here? Do I need a light green or dark green? Dark here, light here. And we're going to make that in two different ways. They're both green, but each of them has a different amount of yellow and blue. Okay, I'm getting near an edge. When I get near an edge, I can use my tippy toes again on my paintbrush instead of flat. That way I get a nice clean line. Sometimes adding water makes it nice and clean. I'm not always too concerned that I stay in my lines. It's not that important to me. This is kind of a teal, and it slightly has some white in it. So I'm going to grab a little white. On this tree. Has some curly texture, so I might use my brush like this. I see that color here. And here. Turn my lights on. All right. where else do we have green? We have green over here on this hill, so let's make that. What kind of green is this green? I would say it's more of a lime green. When you're making lime green, you need a lot of yellow and a little bit of blue. Make a new pile. And I also see we're going to need some lime green over here, so I'm going to make a nice big pile so we have enough. I grabbed a little bit of blue. Voila, I have a nice lime green. This green is a lot different from this, right? So let's put it on. To make a nice lime green, you need a lot of yellow and a little blue. Ooh, you might hear the students outside my door. They're going crazy. I might add some here. Okay. Make more. All right. I like it. Ooh, I got paint on the back. Whoops. That's my bad. Let's wipe that off. Okay, we're good. All right. Okay, let's make that pink. I've been dying to make the pink on the mountain. Clean my brush, wipe it on a rag, and let's get more white. All right, how do we make pink? We make pink with white and red. And this is slightly purpley pink. To make this pink purpley, we need to add a little bit of blue. Let's paint it on. So we know how to make purple. That's red and blue. But you can even add purple in with like other colors like pink. And they make those colors, those special colors that you see in the painting. So this isn't just a bubblegum pink. It has a little bit of blue in it to make it more purpley. So good artists look out for those really cool, or look for those colors that are not just plain. So that's why we are practicing mixing. It has some little blue streaks in it, so I'm going to add a little bit of just blue in here. Then I might add a little bit more white. Actually, I'm just going to mix it straight onto the mountain, and that's okay. Clean my brush, it's getting a little bit dirty. Use some water to help it flow to the edge. Make some more. At this point in the video, you can certainly stop it and start painting your own, or you can watch all the way through, or you can just follow me as I paint and paint just like I do. It's whatever will help you the best. So this video is for you guys. Okay. All right. I'm really liking how it's looking. And now we're just going to move on to this part. This hill has a lot of red in it, doesn't it? It has a lot of reddish orange. So how do we make red orange? We use a lot of red and a little bit of yellow. To make orange, you need red and yellow. So, well, maybe more half orange, half yellow. That makes a red orange. Okay, let's start painting that in. It's a little bit dark, so I'm going to add a little bit of blue. If you want a color to be dark, you can add some blue. Set my painting down. When you run out of paint, mix some more. David Hockney uses nice, bold colors. Which are very fun to mix. Some more red. Okay, this is getting dark down here, so I'm going to add some more blue with red and kind of make a purple. I made a dark purple to put on top of that orange I just made. That's going to make it dark like that. Blue, red, mix them together and paint it on. Now I see there's a few dark spots all around, so I'm going to go and paint those in wherever I see them. There's a line. There's some dark spots here, here. And I need some dark purple over here for the tree trunk. I don't have brown, but I do know how to make purple, and purple is a perfect color for a tree trunk. And right over here, this corner. If you need a dark color, make purple, blue, and red. Okay, don't use black. Not for this project. Okay. Let's add that in. Okay, all right, wow. It's coming together. What do you think so far? I think it's looking pretty good. All right, let's work on this hill. Let's make that yellow. And this is kind of a golden yellow. This is an orange over here. So let's make those colors. Grab more paint, put it on your paint palette if you need it. To make a gold, use yellow plus a teeny bit of red. See how little? Just a little bit. Mix it together. Ooh, made a little bit more of an orange. Actually, I made the orange perfect for over here, so I'm going to paint that here. Sometimes you don't get it perfect. That's okay. It's just about practice. Well, no one really gets it perfect. We're all learning. That's not the goal. Okay, now let's make a more of a gold over here. Okay. Ooh, I love it. It just stands out right in the middle of the painting, doesn't it? Has a little bit of green in it, so I'm going to make a little teeny tiny pile of green. Okay, now there's some darker greens around, so we know to make a dark green you need blue and yellow. Let's put those on. I'm painting them like this because I notice in his painting there's lots of lines over here. Don't want to cover up my road. Okay, clean my brush. I need more paint. Remember, friends, when you're painting this, I want you to try your best, and I don't want you to get overwhelmed with how many things there are to paint, because just like we're doing right now, we're just breaking it down into chunks, and if you do that, you can paint anything. Okay. This has some funny texture over here. Really dark here. Okay, it's really dark green we want to make for right here. And I'm going to try my best to go around those little orange dots that I drew in. Little shapes. Okay. All right. Now we have this kind of red-orange, very similar to this color right here. So I'm going to make a red-orange, yellow, red, and I want it a little darker, so I'm going to add a little bit of blue. Kind of makes a brown. Yeah, I did kind of make it brown. So let's add some more red. Paint it around. If the color doesn't turn out how you want it, you can always just put the paint right onto the painting. You don't always have to mix it onto your palette. It's a little bit darker. Okay. There is a bright blue down here at the bottom. I'm going to mix it. Down we go. A little bit of red. I'm noticing that my blues up here are not really dark enough, so I'm going to add some dark blue and blend it in with what I already have. They need to stand out from the background, and this will help that. A little bit of blue back here. There's some lines back here, so I'm going to paint some lines. And back here is kind of a light brown. So to make a brown, we mix all the colors together. Red, blue and yellow, red, blue, yellow, and white, and makes a light brown. That goes up here. And okay. I might add some white highlights in some areas. White. Oh. Oh, I did not make that road. Or this road. Oops. Okay, my friends, I know this takes a long time, but when you're painting, it takes a while to make what you really want. So I hope you slow down and enjoy this project and know that this is to learn how to mix colors, to learn how to mix secondary colors, to observe one of the most famous artists in the world in his landscapes, and to just have fun. All right, if you need any help, please message me and I'll be happy to help. And please remember to take a picture of your painting and email it to me when you are finished. Good luck, everyone.